What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. It's episode number 19, and we start today's episode off with a game against Queen's Park Rangers here, of course. QPR are the league leaders at the moment, and we've beaten them. We beat them this season. We beat them at the Den by a goal to nil, I think it was. So, you know, we've got the better of them before, but away at Loftus Road, I'm not really fancying my chances. We've been playing quite poor of late, of course, you've been seeing that. And taking on league leaders away from home whilst we're going through a bit of an inconsistent patch, it's going to be very difficult for us. We do have 6 games to go. We are behind Brighton in second place as we're sitting in third. We're behind them on goal difference, but taking on QPR, I don't really fancy my chances. As I've said, they've got the strongest squad in the division by far. There's no surprise they're sitting top. There's no surprise they're going to go up as champions. But even so, they had the first chance of the game in the 3rd minute. I think it was Charlie Austin who got his head to the ball, but went right wide of Nyland's post. But in the 14th minute here, it's Joey Barton on the ball, rolls it through to Hoylett down the left-hand side here, gets past Alan Dunn, crosses the ball in. Charlie Austin wins the header, and sadly QPR take the lead with 15 minutes on the clock. Not a real surprise, obviously, as I said, coming into this game I expected to lose, and to be a goal down so early was not a surprise either. So QPR 1 Millwall 0, but in the 18th minute Andy Keogh rolls the ball through to Richard Chaplow. Chaplow's through it on goal and beats Julio Cesar, finds the bottom corner, so Richard Chaplow makes a QPR 1 Millwall 1, so a bit of a surprise here. I mean, as I said, I thought we'd get dominated from start to finish, but we had a goal back and we were on level terms, and we were holding out here until the 70th minute here when Nico Kranjčar came forward but hit the post, so it was still 1-1 and we were doing really well as things stood to hold on and possibly get a point here. Here's Joey Barton's shot, well saved by Nyland with 10 minutes to go, so another good stop by our goalkeeper. We're still on level terms, but sadly in the 85th minute Hoylett gets on the ball, rolls it through to Rafael Sobis. And sadly, the Brazilian puts the ball into the back of the net and makes it QPR 2, Millwall 1. So sadly, Rafael Sobis, Jesus, gets the goal, and it's QPR 2, Millwall 1. And that's also how the game finished. And that's a real shame. We didn't play well. I mean, let's be honest, we played pretty poorly, to be honest. Chaplow's shot was our best chance of the game, which he took. But we didn't deserve any points from that, and that's why we got none as well. So it's a bit of a shame, because I would have liked to have got a point. It would be a massive result for us just to get a point now. But a loss is a bit of a shame, and there's not much else we can do about it now. And we'll have to just improve in the next game against Huddersfield. Now, we come into this game against Huddersfield still sitting in 3rd place, but we've been, the Den has been a fortress all through the season, but as you've seen, our last 2 games at the Den have been against Watford and have been against Nottingham Forest, and we've lost both of them. So we came to this, and we conceded 3 goals in both of them as well, so 6 goals all in all. So coming into this game, I was thinking, to be honest, we're a point behind Brighton. Usually this game will be a formality for us, at the first half of the season, taking on Huddersfield at home, easy 3 points. But now, in an inconsistent patch of form, and with the Den not being a fortress anymore, I was actually feeling quite scared, to be honest. But the first chance did come to us in the 20th minute. The crosses come in from James Henry from the corner. Mark Beavers gets to the header but puts it onto the roof of the net. So still Millwall 0, Huddersfield 0 with 20 minutes on the clock. But in the 58th minute here, Huddersfield are trying to dribble out from the back. They give the ball away. Carrasco's onto it. Carrasco gets onto his right foot here. Real good chance for him. He gives it to Nicky Bailey. Bailey's onto the ball. Plays it back to Carrasco. Gets past Dixon with the Ronaldo chop and finesses it into the corner. So with just under an hour played here, we do take the lead. It's Millwall 1, Huddersfield 0. And in a game with a few chances, I was very glad that we'd taken ours. So Millwall 1, Huddersfield 0. The fans are celebrating. To be honest, it was such a nervy game because there were barely any chances. The ball was getting stuck in the middle of the park. But every time Huddersfield had the ball, they wouldn't give it away. And sadly, in the 89th minute, Atkinson plays a great through ball to John Stead, takes a touch and drills it past Nyland. Stead makes it Millwall 1, Huddersfield 1 with a minute to go, and sadly, that's how the game finished. So again, we failed to win at the Den for the 3rd game in a row. This ground was such a fortress, the reason why we've been in such a high position for all of the season. Now we're struggling to win in front of our home fans. It's ridiculous. It's been completely flipped now. We just can't seem to win there at all, and it's Millwall 1, Huddersfield 1, and that's a terrible result for us. Morrison also got an injury in that game. He's going to be out for 3 weeks, so our top scorer is now out injured for the remainder, almost the remainder of the season. That's That's terrible. It's all going wrong for us late on in this season, and we've dropped to third, and we're just a team lacking confidence. Of course, the fact we're in second place and third place is still a massive surprise, really, for the squad we've got. But even so, this end of season form is really, really haunting us at the moment. But our following game was against Burnley here at the Den, and of course, taking on Burnley. We haven't won at the Den in 3 games, and we're now taking on a Burnley side who were the first side to beat us in the Championship. So everything's all going wrong. It's all over the place at the moment. We've got 4 games to go. We're behind Brighton in 3rd place by 1 point. So yeah, it's all going wrong at the moment. And having to take on Burnley, the first side to beat us in the Championship this season, it's not exactly the opposition I want to face either. But we do take them on the Den, looking to try and win at this ground finally, after such a long time. And the first chance did come to us in the 18th minute. Michel Weiser gets past Michael Kitely, who scored in this reverse fixture. Goes down the right hand side. Weiser keeps on going, drills it across, and Andy Keogh, what a chance for Keogh to show why he should start and why he should get a new contract. With now Morrison out for almost the remainder of the season, and Keogh spurns his chance there, and it's still Millwall 0, Burnley 0. And in the 36th minute, Keogh chips the ball over the top to James Henry, and Henry shoots. I was going to say Josh Henry, then James Henry shoots, but he puts the ball wide of the post, so it's still Millwall 0, Burnley 0. And in the 38th minute, Andy Keogh's onto the ball, rolls it through to Carrasco down the left hand side here. Carrasco gets past O'Neill, lovely turn of pace, crosses the ball in towards the head of Keogh, lovely header, but sadly it hits the bar, and sadly it's still Millwall 0, Burnley 0, as Burnley do manage to get the ball away here. So it's still Millwall 0, Burnley 0, and on the stroke of half time, Burnley get the ball away here. It's Ortiz who loses out to Nicky Bailey. What a great chance for a 2-on-2. Bailey rolls the ball through to Andy Keogh, and the referee blows for half time. I was like, oh come on, seriously, that attack was surely going to lead to a clear goal scoring chance, but no, it's half time sadly, and it's still Millwall 0, Burnley 0. And he's in the 50th minute, Ryan Gould intercepts his man, rolls the ball through to Andy Keogh. Keogh with a nice back heel to Carrasco. Carrasco's through here, didn't really know what to do, so I decided to stop the ball and play it back to Andy Keogh. Keogh's onto it, takes aim just wide of Heaton's post, and it's still Millwall 0, Burnley 0. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net here. In the 55th minute, Keogh wins the ball again, holds it up, plays it out wide to Brian Carrasco down the left hand side here. Carrasco goes through 1-on-1, dinks the ball over the goalkeeper and finds the back of the net. So finally, after all this possession, after all of these chances, Brian Carrasco gets the goal, back flips over the corner flag and makes it Millwall 1, Burnley 0. So finally we had the better of the goalkeeper, who was playing really well in this game, made a couple of great saves, and our chances, we just kept missing all these opportunities, but finally we managed to get the goal and take the lead in this game. So a great finish by Brian Carrasco, and I was very pleased with that. However, disaster struck in the 58th minute because James Henry got onto the ball down the right hand side, crosses it in, the ball went up in the air, and Carrasco goes for the header, goes down, and straight away I knew it was going to be a serious injury. The referee blows up for a free kick there, or a drop ball even, and sadly Carrasco is injured, and as you'll see here, he gets a sprained knee and he has to get subbed off the pitch. And Brian Carrasco, who's been our best player all through the season really, other than Morrison, is off the pitch, and sadly he is going to be out for the remainder of this season. So Carrasco goes down. It's a bad injury sadly, and it's a real shame because, Morrison gets injured in the last game, our top scorer. Now Carrasco gets injured, and, he's, in my opinion, been our best player, really. He's been so good. Other than Morrison, of course, the goal scorer, and, possibly Nyland as well, the goalkeeper. Carrasco's been really good, and sadly he's going to miss the remainder of the season now, so it's all coming apart at the moment. And in the 86th minute here, a great chance to make it 2-0. Henry's shot was well saved by the goalkeeper, and it was cleared away. It comes out to Scott Malone, our left back, gives it to Nicky Bailey. Bailey's onto the ball here, he's got space, so I decided to let fly with Bailey, but sadly again it's a really good save, so it's still 1-0. I really wanted that assurance of the second goal because I just knew that Burnley would come back and score an equaliser in injury time if we didn't get it, but from the corner Henry swings it in, it's headed away, only comes as far as Scott Malone, and our left back rifles the ball into the back of the net. It's on his weaker right foot, but he smashes it in there. Millwall 2, Burnley 0 with 88 minutes on the clock, and finally we got that all-important second goal, and the 3 points were finally secure at the Den as Heaton was beaten for the second time. And I was just so pleased with that, man, because it was such a crucial win, after 3 games here at the Den where we failed to get all 3 points, or possibly even 4 games, I can't remember, past the Watford game. But at least after 3 games anyway, without a win here at the Den, I was so relieved to get 3 points, and we needed that win. You know, we hadn't had a win in quite a long time, so we needed that win, and I was very pleased to get it. But sadly, yeah, Carrasco out for 4 weeks, so that's a real shame. He's going to miss the remainder of the season. That absolutely sucks, but sadly, there's nothing we can do about that. And we also saw that Paraguay came in for us here. We haven't had an international management offer in a while, but Paraguay say, will you manage our nation? And of course, we stole it, but of course, we're going to reject it, and I'm just not interested really. But here's a look at the league table. We have now overtaken Brighton. We're back up to 2nd place by 2 points with 3 games to go. So it's very, very tight. We are just about in front of Brighton. So we just, well, you know, it's in our own hands now. It's back in our own hands. We slipped up. Brighton were in front of us, and you know, it looked as though if they would win all their remaining games, they would be promoted. But it's now we've been really fortunate that Brighton has slipped up, and now it's back in our own hands. Now we've got to make sure we just keep on winning these games and collect as many points as possible, and go ahead and claim promotion to the Premiership. But yeah, the 4th and final game of today's episode is indeed against Bournemouth here away from home. So Bournemouth currently sitting in a relegation zone. So, you know, in reality, you'd expect us to win this game. But we've been in such an inconsistent patch of form, you know, during this late season. It's not really a formality that we'll get the 3 points despite Bournemouth's poor league position. So we came to this game fearful of the fact we may drop points once again, but the first chance came in the second half, really, or the first real chance. Richie plays the ball out wide to McDonald here, down the right hand side. He holds off Scott Malone, who scored the 2nd goal against Burnley. He ends up crossing the ball into Pittman in the box, and what a great chance for Bournemouth to get the first goal of the game, but the header goes wide of Nyla's post, and it's still Bournemouth 0, Millwall 0. We had a free kick here. Josh Wright collects the ball and shoots from range, but sadly the goalkeeper makes a good save. So 65 minutes in, it's still Bournemouth 0, Millwall 0, and from the corner it's towards the head of Mark Beavers, gets in front of his man, and Beavers heads the ball past the goalkeeper. So a great finish by Beavers as he trips James Henry up there, and he makes it Bournemouth 0, Millwall 1. So a very, very important goal. It was, you know, like most games really, very, very tight, very tense. Barely any chances, but Mark Beavers takes his. What a great header that is by our centre-back, and that's a really, really strong header. And we do take the lead here. All the goals are important, all the results are important, and we were 1-0 up here, and looking like we'll get our first 3 points. But he see a header get cleared off the line by Bournemouth. Hart then loses out to Paul Robinson, our captain. He gives it to Josh Wright here, Wright's onto the ball, fake shots, rolls it out wide. We give the ball away, but Berahino wins it, takes aim, it's deflected, and it hits the top of the bar and goes out for a corner. So we almost extended our lead late on here, but we did get a corner. James Henry swings it into the box towards the head of, not sure who it was, maybe Josh Wright, but it was cleared away, and the goalkeeper makes a good save, and Bournemouth do manage to get the ball away here eventually. So it's still Bournemouth 0, Millwall 1, and in injury time, the last chance for Bournemouth to get themselves a point in this game. Eventually the ball goes back to Daniels. Daniels on the ball here, rolls it through, the shot comes in, but it's wide of Nyland's post, and that is how the game finishes. So Bournemouth 0, Millwall 1. A crucial 3 points here. We had to win this game. We had to get back-to-back wins for the first time in a long time if we do want to go up automatically. And yeah, I was relieved to get those 3 points. It was a huge, huge 3 points. You know, 6 points from those 2 games were vital, and we got them, which means we stay in 2nd place with 2 games to go. And as always, guys, a big thank you for watching today's video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please leave a like. That's much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out. And I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.